One more time. We back again, family. We got a good show tonight. I think y'all will like this one. Again, we've been taking the calls. Been talking to people. We're having this consistent message. We still doing the research. We still doing the social study groups. We still doing the social experiments. And it keeps turning out to be consistent. We're gonna definitely come in not being we're gonna be non-biased. We're not gonna try to put our spin or interpretation on what we do. We've been getting a lot of different perspectives. So I know if you go online, if you read your magazines, or if you're reading the book, or if you're doing any social media, any real reality TV, anything on TV, any Netflix, there are a lot of opinions going around today. Everybody has an opinion. That's fine. We need that diverse community of different thought processes. We need the different mentality, the different social, economic, religious, and cultural backgrounds. We need that. But we all know when we get to it, in general, we need to have specifics that everybody can understand, something that everybody is going to do and follow as far as rules are concerned. So if we come to like a stoplight, we know that red means stop, yellow means slow down, and green means go. So no matter what your social, cultural, religious, economic background is, we all have to follow those same rules. So when it comes to our opinions, the show tonight is called Everybody, Is It Working? With your opinion, with your ideology, with the way that you think, with your mentality, with your process, with your lifestyle, is it working? I want you all to get you a group if you can. I want y'all to do a little social experiment like I do. And I want you to see that every time, because somebody is speaking, that doesn't mean that they're going to manifest the outcome of the words that they're saying. So get your group, get your friends. It could be your family. It could be some work associates. It could be some business partners. If y'all just want to see how accurate an individual is, I want y'all to write down your goals. I want you to write down your goals, your destination, your process, the things that you want to accomplish. Okay, write it out in detail. So after you write that down, I want you to check back. If y'all say after the first week, after 3 weeks, 3 months, whatever your deadline, whatever your timeline is, y'all check back in and be accountable to each other. And you'll find out something very interesting. Everybody is not working. We have our opinions. We have our thought processes. We have the things that we want to do and we want to achieve. But at the end of the day, very few of us are achieving our goals. But we're very, very critical of other people. We're very, very judgmental of other people. We always want to probe, pry, and dig into what they're doing instead of focusing on ourselves. So when I say everybody is it working, I want you again to get your family members. It could be business associates. It could be a business partner. It could be friends. It could be whoever it is that runs in your circle. It could be different circles. I want y'all to sit down. I want you to get your goals and objectives in your process. Write it down. Put a timeline on it. Then I want y'all to go back and revisit it, and you will find out. I'm talking about everybody. Men, women, young people, even our elders, is not working. So we all have been in a situation. We've been in a class. We've been on a job. We've been in a relationship. We've been in a place where we grew and learned after we had that experience. So if we was on the job, if we was in a situation, if we were in a class, wherever we were, we had an experience that we grew from, and it changed the way that we thought. So if it changes the way that we think, so that means we got some more experience. So that means we no longer think what we thought when we were in those situations. So if you think in your mind, I want you to set the current time that you were in that situation. I want you to go back. Think about the time you were in a situation. Well, after you gained the experience in that place, on that job, or in that class, where your mind developed, where you got more experience and you would have approached it differently than you did previously. So in that moment, when you thought that you had a firm grip on how to handle those situations, you remember today that you have grown since the time that you had those experiences. So now that you've grown, you've had those experiences, I want you to look back and reflect on that. What would you have done differently? Because in that moment, you thought that you had everything squared away. You thought you were spot on. You thought that you was going to reach your goal, but we all experienced that growth. We all have that experience that leads us to more wisdom and knowledge in what we were doing. If you're in your current situation on that job, in that relationship, you might make the right decision today, or you could make a greater mistake later. Our goal is to make mistakes and be human. Okay. Our goal is to persevere and execute, but to be human, we are going to fail. That is part of the process. So the goal is to make the least amount of mistakes as we possibly can. So when we enter that situation, and because the goal is to execute and persevere and be successful, we have to leave room to be human. But we don't want to let that fallibility, we don't want to let that part of being human be the destination each time, because we're flawed and we can fail. So when we want to persevere, we want to make sure that when we make our mistakes, the next time we approach these situations, we want to be very informed. We want to use wise counsel. We want to use others that have been successful in that process. We don't want to stay stagnant and keep using the knowledge that we think we have when we walk up on that situation and find out later that we need to grow and we need to learn, and we'll experience some more. So the way that we can cut down on the failure, we want to get people who are skilled and experienced in that situation. We want to talk to wise counsel. We want to get with people who are very informed, or use information and resources that are very solid when it comes down to that situation. We want to use that information. I was talking to some friends of mine. I just got back in town. I was out of town. I saw one of my godchildren, and I was talking to a friend of mine. And when I went through a rough patch after my divorce, I was telling him some things that he totally forgot about. Okay. So now we're talking about having these experiences where we thought we knew something that we did not know. So this is a very, very good friend of mine. His son is my godson. So you can understand how close we probably are. So when I was talking to him, he forgot that I came in town for about 2 or 3 weeks, and I stayed with him because in his life, wherever he was in that moment, in that place, in that space, he thought he had a handle on that situation. But after I reminded him, after we had the conversation, when he began to recall, he found out that he was in the very same room with me for very same house for 3 weeks, and forgot that I was even there. So the reason I'm going over this, I'm saying everybody, is it working? Your mind, what you think today is real to you, and what is actually happening could be very, very different, or it could be the same. So when you want to try to check your paper, you need to be careful, because when you check in that paper, you have to use your filter. You coming through your trigger, your traumas, your inhibitions, your insecurities. So you need to be very, very careful when you try to write out that process to check and see if it's working. I talked to another good friend of mine. This is an older friend. We went to college together. We had 30 years together. We started recalling and recanting some situations from college. You know, we talked for 2 days in a row. Now, again, I've been knowing this brother 30 years, and we're close, but we're very distant. But every time we pick up the phone, it's like, hey, only 3 to 4 weeks went past, maybe a month. So we talking, and we just clicked. You know, it popped right back in place. We talked about, you know, the previous relationships, the kids, the past jobs or businesses that we had, the things that were going right, the things that were going wrong. And then again, we had to recall and recant on that life that we thought we knew, the mistakes that we made. So now we wiser and we're the elders. So now we have to take that knowledge and put it in its proper place so that we can use it, and then it help get us to that destination. So talking to those two friends of mine, it just helped me understand, you know, when I sit down and talk to people who are closest to me, I say, everybody, is it working? And the things that I thought was working previously 20 to 30, 15, 10 years ago, I thought I had it right. But then I found out that I didn't have it the way that it needed to be. So I had a new experience, and I grew and I learned from those mistakes. This is something that we all go through. This is not exclusive to a group of people. This is not exclusive to the minority. This is the majority of us. And when you leave, before you leave this earth, you will never know it all. You will never get it all. So you just need to be diligent and surround yourself with wise counsel, with people who are trying to be diligent and grow and go in your direction. And that is just the best that you can do. So I just wanted to put this one out here today, and it was called Everybody, Is It Working? I want you to get with that group of people, if it's friends or family, business associates or partners. I want you to write down your goals and objectives. I want you to put a process and a timeline on it. And I want you to see how diligent or how close somebody could stick to that script, how they can let that process play out and see if they meet that goal and those destinations. And you will find out, everybody, it's not working. Okay, we want y'all to take this. We want you to test this. We want you to try this. Take it to the barbershop or take it to the hair salon. Take it to the job or take it to the church. Remember, you don't have to like it, believe it, or understand it. Sometimes you just have to respect it. This is the Clipperdome Chronicles. Thank you.